Hey everybody. So I got a little bit of free time. I'm in a piece of woods that we don't hunt very much because it just doesn't hold much for deer. It's about 20 acres. And I'm going to try change that. So we just got our logging done here a week or two ago. There's lots of treetops down here, so there already is some cover. But I'm going to go and add to that today. Just to give the deer another spot they can tuck in when the hunting pressure really ramps up. I don't think there's a whole lot in here right now. With all the thick type of cover, they generally are not in this type of cover during the summer. They're primarily in those open, closed canopy woods. But they could gravitate towards here this fall. So, because I have some free time, I decided to bust out the chainsaw. So what I'm going to do is, just like every other video, if I got my nice oaks, I'm going to be releasing them. As in any tree that's touching the crown, I'm going to cut it down. And I'll probably be hinging a few trees and flush cutting a lot of trees, just dropping them to the ground to try improve the forest for wildlife. One, by just getting more cover to the ground. Two, just letting even more sunlight in. And three, releasing my mass producing trees. So we'll see. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna go about this. Normally I start cutting and the plan just kind of takes shape. I got a little bit of an idea in my head, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if this is going to be more of a hinge cut, just more flush cuts. We'll see what it looks like as I start dropping these trees. The nice thing about this logging is it opens up the canopy enough that I don't have to worry about hang-ups, because when I pick a spot in the forest where it's completely closed canopy, it's kind of tough to get it started. You end up dealing with a lot of hang-ups, but here I have a lot of space to drop trees. So yeah, but this area is where I really want bedding in this woods. It's the furthest away from human intrusion, and it's already kind of a point they like to bed in when they are in here. So I just want to add to it, and we only have one stand in this 20-acre woods, which I showed in the previous video where the kill plot was. But this bedding right here would really work well for that stand too, because we have no chance of jumping deer. So all right, I'll come back when I'm done. We'll see how many trees are on the ground. All right, well, I think it's officially time to be done with the chainsaw for the year. This time I'm serious. I only cut for a couple hours and I just petered out. Heart wasn't in it today, so I don't know if I've ever not wanted to run a chainsaw, but I think that just means I ran one quite a bit this summer, and it's a good time to quit and look forward to hunting season. So I will run through quickly what I got done today. Oh, you can hear a tree falling over there. I had one hung up over there. So I just primarily worked on this corner. You can see there's a few oak trees in that area. Freed those up. All this maple that I cut, it's all hard maple. Once it gets to a certain size, it's pretty tough to hinge. I always try it, but it just ends up snapping off. That's why a lot of this is a little bit lower. They're pretty good, probably 6 inches and under they hinge really well, but as they get much bigger than that, they don't hinge great. Also, if it's a nice straight tree, I'll leave it, because that's a marketable tree, but most of these maples that are left are pretty crooked, so I was fine with cutting them. But really the goal was just to get a little bit of cover down today. You know, I kind of walked through this woods after I shut my chainsaw off, and there are a lot of tops, so I think there's going to be plenty of cover for the hunting season, but I just wanted to get a little extra down. This corner is going to be pretty neat, because this was where there was a lot of aspen. So what I did with the cutting was I didn't cut too many very high. If I hinged them fairly low, because this aspen regen is going to come thick next summer. So the low hinges will give some of that side cover, and the aspen regen is just going to be food and cover. You get a ton of cover out of that, so that should be awesome for the deer next year. This historically is an area that there was some deer bedding in. There was a lot of glossy buckthorn in this corner last year. I knew we'd be logging in here this summer, so I removed it because I didn't want tons of glossy buckthorn coming back. There's still some here, but I took a lot of it out. So here's a little area I made a deer bed. Had a nice log right there, and you can see just a good look out that way. But this should be a good buck bedding spot, hopefully. It's kind of on the fringe of the bedding area, so maybe a buck will hold up in there. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence that this woods is going to hold bucks. I feel it'll be that doe and fawn type of a woods, but you never know. We have seen big ones come out of here in the past, so it's not unheard of to have a good one in here, but we'll just wait and see. So here's where there's some more heavier logging. You can see all the aspen trash in here. This stuff breaks down pretty quickly. There's plenty of little pockets where a deer can bed in here. But aspen rots really quick. I'd say in 3-4 years a lot of this will be just soft and mushy and rotting back into the soil. So here's, I wonder if it was a little bit thicker already. You can see some glossy buckthorn, so I got more work to do in regards to taking that stuff out, but I was able to make some cool little bedding spots. Back up in there I kind of have potential bed. Get this stick out of here. Just took a few trees. I didn't have to cut a ton today. Just a few well-placed trees, and I definitely think there'll be a few deer holding up. Hopefully a couple doe family groups, and we can collect our venison in this area when we want to do our grocery shopping and get a doe. So there's the edge right there. I mean, it's not far. Like I said, this is only about a 20-acre woods, and that's all corn. Actually really like this woods when it's got corn up on the backside here. The deer feel pretty comfortable in here, and we do see a few more deer when there's corn on the north side here. So I'll sit in here once or twice just to see kind of how the deer are using it, moving around in here. This whole north side was where the aspen was. So this whole north side of the woods is going to be thick all the way running that way. 1 to 2 summers, and it'll be more than thick enough to hold deer. There's a natural bed back in here. Here's that old canopy debate debunked, because this one canopy was made from the logging. And looky right there, well-used deer bed. I can see clumps of deer hair from here, and it's all canopied over top with 2 good escapes. So you may use it. I guarantee they'll use that into the fall. There's a big elm tree. It's already kind of sitting up next to a couple trees. So I was able to drop it nice and slow. It was a pretty big tree to hinge, but I mean, that was a very slow, controlled descent, so I decided to hinge it, create a nice little canopied bed. You could see deer kind of bedding up in that area. I got lots of trails cutting out. Normally I probably would have done even better as far as my cleanup work, but like I said, I'm plumb tuckered out. I don't even know how many hours I ran a chainsaw this summer, but it was a lot. And today I needed to be done. I had a window. Family went to the beach with, my wife took the kids to the beach with some girlfriends, or a girlfriend and her kids. So I decided to try the chainsaw one more time, and you know what? Like I said, I think it's just time to be done. Oh, here, I'm actually going to clear a little bed back in here quick. This is a perfect spot for a bed. I got escapes looking out every way. So I'm going to pause this video for a second. Alright. So here's where I put a bed. Escape out there. Out that way. Even a little bit of a hole looking out back. Too good of a spot not to clear out. Help the deer to use it. So yeah, like I said, I would have probably normally caught this one, but I just shut the saw off and decided to be done. I always come back into these areas too, you know, every year, just to kind of tune them up a little bit. Actually ended up being quite a bit bigger than I realized. But like I said, when you have that kind of nice open canopy to start, it's real easy to drop trees. There's more logging trash. Should break down over time. Nice thing about our loggers is they took the firewood too, so the stuff that's left isn't huge. It should rot away in no time. Alright, so here's where it got a little thicker with my edge cutting. I found a little surprise on that tree. Started to cut, and yeah, there's the hornets going in and out. You can see my cut right there. I did not push that one down. I didn't need to get peppered multiple times by hornets again, so kind of left that one be. So I got more, actually quite a bit more cut kind of up along the edge. I'm just going to swing this way. I can see my video's getting long already. Just going to show what I knocked down in here. Mostly maple. Kept her decently easy to move around. I would have done probably could do a little bit more cleanup, but I think it's good enough for now. Good enough for this year. And yeah, here's one of their main logging trails cutting down that way. Deer stand is off over that way. You got quite a few little feeder trails kicking out of this thing, pointed towards the deer stand. So hopefully, here's one. The deer hanging out in here, they'll kick out that way. Go check out the little bit of a food plot that we laid down right there. Little kill plot, and go from there. So, all right, well, that's pretty much the extent of it. I'm gonna grab my habitat hook and we go pull a few chips, see what's on the old trail cams. You all have a great day. God bless.